Also, I wanted to mention, some of you shared your stories of what happened last Sunday, and it is so incredible what has happened in this class. You have not had a chance to hear a lot of the stories, but we've had the privilege of hearing them from coaches. They've been remaining confidential, but they share the essence of some of the beautiful things that have happened, and the breakthroughs, and the brokenness, and the new insights. So we rejoice in the work of the Lord and believe that the Holy Spirit is with us today to give you the strength and the courage to have another courageous conversation. And some of you have said, I like to do this and learn more and practice further. Where can I get practices beyond the class? Well, we have an opportunity for that, and so we have a slide with a QR code, and it is a registration for a Zoom class if you want to learn how to practice being a coach, to do a courageous conversation with another person or another couple, and you'll learn practicing tips and that kind of thing. How many of you went to some of those Zooms since January? Okay, were they helpful? Yeah, and it just boosts your confidence, and you get to practice. There's going to be 3 trainers on Zoom, so this is the code if you want. We'll leave that up at the end of this session today, and that way you'll be able to sign up.
It's free.
Of course it's free. And the last thing I want to mention, some of you have kind of mixed Chuck Starnes material with the Courageous Conversation, and so you've been inadvertently saying something like you would repeat or echo, if you're the listener, to the Courageous Conversation questions, and then you end up saying, so is there anything else? And some of you were doing that. Well, actually, that can kind of prolong the courageous conversation. So that's actually more designed for some of the shorter dialogues that Chuck Starnes has taught. And the courageous conversation, the only time you can use that really makes sense is the second question, which is, in addition to that, is there any other pressing issues? So, but other than that, when you reflect, you can say, so what I hear you saying, and then just repeat, but you don't have to say, is there anything else? Okay, does that make sense?
Or did I miss anything? You know, just fill in the gaps.
Yeah, or did I miss anything is fine.
All right, well, we're jumping all over here. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a bit of a, with all this courageous conversation stuff, it's been a bit of a stormy weekend for around our house, right? And just a lot of things blowing around, and we're asking God for a clear sign, and this is what blew down in our yard. There you go. A street sign literally blew down into our yard. And if you look real carefully, you might see Athena rolling her eyes over there. Okay, little logistics. Coaches, hopefully you found your spot. Send out emails ahead of time. If not, take a quick glance, find your name. Those are the tables assignments where you're at. And Athena's going to be floating around, so she'll be checking in and making sure everybody's got answers that they need. And as far as we've just assigned coaches to each table with our best guess as to how many couples were going to show up, not knowing that in advance. So if you are at a table where you have some extra couples or extra coaches, come and see me, and we'll assign you to a table that has fewer than what they need, because I think we had 25 coaches and 38 couples on average here, so we can reallocate as needed. Athena, do you want to welcome her?
Yeah. I also want to just thank those coaches who came here today that do not go to Venture Church. If you're here specifically to come and coach today, would you raise your hand, and let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. I am so grateful for them. They have all been trained and have done this, and they've seen the fruitfulness of courageous conversation. And also, I wanted to mention that I went blank. Just forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, you can ask any of these coaches about questions if you have questions about courageous conversation, how it works practically, and so on. Just ask them for some tips because they've all got some good insights.
I know. There's a couple here that hadn't come to the other 3 weeks, but if possible, could sit in on a coaching session just to be able to learn. If you feel comfortable with that, check with your spouse. Come to me privately right after we dismiss you because it would be great if they can observe. And also, I am going on blanks.
Okay,
Late
here's a few logistics about today. We're going to send you off to your coaching sessions real quick. Yes, we have a testimony. Let's see. If you had a coach last week, we're not guaranteeing you're going to get a coach this week because we want to make sure everybody gets coached at least one of the 2 weeks. So we're going to try and make it a priority to make sure that everybody that didn't get coached last week gets a coach this week. And if that's you and you don't have somebody assigned, please come find me or Athena and we'll pull somebody from somewhere and make sure you got coverage because we want everybody to have that opportunity. Let's see. If you're one of those coaches, couples that don't have a coach and you're not feeling quite safe about it yet, that's okay. Just pick an issue that you can go through that's outside the relationship, something about the kids or work or some other relationship and stuff like that, and use it as a clarifying conversation to help that person clarify their issues. Use the same questions except for question 5, which is, instead of what is my responsibility for this issue, you're going to ask what is that other person's responsibility for that issue. That's the only nuance on that. Also, you're going to send you around to different rooms. Some of you will be in here, some of you will be in classrooms. If a classroom's too crowded for you, just find another empty classroom. There's a bunch of them downstairs, and you guys can move around and expand as you need it. And also return back here by 1:50, if possible, to have a little bit of debriefing time around our tables. If you're not completely all the way through the conversation, that's okay. You can finish it up at home. Try to get at least through question 8. At least through question 8. Question 9 and 10 are the practical stuff. You can work that out at home if you need to. But, of course, it's best if you get through them all now.
So I want to welcome Danny and Lily. They would like to share their experience with the Courageous Conversation. Really appreciate their courage to share. So Arnold, who came last week, he's from Cameroon, and he coached them at our home back in January. And maybe you can share kind of what that experience was like.
Hello, my name is Danny. This is my wife Lily. We've been married going on to 9 years now. During that time, it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of rough patches. And what I learned most from it is, you can solve a lot by just listening and not responding. Give them a chance to express how they feel. I have this tendency to kind of try to control things a lot. And so when she's telling me how she feels, I try to say what I feel will get her to feel the way I want her to feel or so. But the opportunity to just listen, you learn a lot and you kind of understand more about where they're coming from. And it's helped a lot in our marriage. So that's where it helped me.
Hi, everybody. So Danny did say we've been through a lot of ups and downs. So we are a blended family. And it's been challenging for me to just be safe in the type of conversations that I want to have with them, just sharing my thoughts, sharing my feelings. And this tool was very helpful to just slow down and just be intentional. Like, I'm going to be the speaker, you're going to be the listener, or are you going to be the listener and I will be the speaker? So it really helped to just be safe. And it was really helpful to have Arnold, by the way. He kind of just was there to just support us. And I wanted to learn how to speak in truth and speak to him in a gentle way. And I just wanted to be open to him. Like, can you hear what's coming from my heart? And last year was really tough for us. We actually weren't living together. So there were times where we were living separately because it just wasn't safe in the house, especially for the kids. So when we went through this courageous conversation, I was just like, God, please help me so that he can hear from my heart that I'm wanting to make this work. And he was giving me that. He was asking me through each questions, like, are you, is this when he's mirroring and just mirroring, reflecting. And I'm like, wow, my guard just kind of went down. My wall just kind of went down. And after that, I felt like we're able to connect more. He's a changed man. Thank God. He's able to hear me. And we're just able to get through conflict, right? And we just want to be authentic with each other. Just be real, be vulnerable. And we weren't doing that in a healthy way. But now we're intentional, we're slowing things down, and we can just be ourselves. And I'm just like, thank God.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Lily. Isn't that powerful? And, this isn't the end. After this class, you're on your own. If you're like, I feel like I need to have another time to have a courageous conversation, but I want a third party. I mean, there's times, we've been doing this for years, and there's times we call on friends and we're like, help, can you come over? Because I feel a little like too much tension here. So I just would say to you, maybe in the summer we'll have a couple, nights where we just dedicate it to practice. And, maybe come over our home or whatever, and we just do breakout sessions. And would that be helpful? Yeah? Because I think, this is just the beginning. But the more that you gain confidence in this, the more it's kind of like training wheels, they can take them off and go, okay, I think I can do these conversations with my spouse and my children. And I feel more confident, so, all right?
Yeah, and also we're hoping that as you learn it, as you practice it, as you gain confidence in it, you'll be giving it away. You'll be teaching others. You'll be helping other couples that you run across that are really struggling in their relationships. And again, as Athena mentioned, there's that class. If you guys want to sign up and get a few more tips on how to do that, I'll put up the slide here in a second. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Danny and Lily. They took on the entire organizing of the lunch for every one of these meetings, and they have just done a fantastic job. Yes. Yeah, hear that, Danny and Lily? You guys are so appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so one more thing, Athena.
Yeah, I should mention that being that all these coaches who came that don't normally come to this church, we encourage you to use the QR code for the lunch, and if you wouldn't mind throwing in a little extra just to pay for their meal, I'd appreciate that.
Okay, so this is where you're going with your table groups. If you can see that map up there, for those of you here last week, it's the same rooms. We're going to have a number of the groups are right here. And if you get lost, talk to somebody else at your table. I'm sure they'll help you find your way. And again, if you're short on coaches, please come see me, and and also if you have extra coaches, please come see me because we could really use you.
Or call me.
Or call Athena.